Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. There comes a moment in life when you've got to stop chasing people, stop running after approval, and stop begging for acceptance. You've got to rise up and say with bold conviction, it's time to focus, and it's time to value myself. Because if you don't set the value of your life, the world will put you on clearance. If you don't stand in your worth, people will treat you like you are disposable. And here's the truth. You don't need another certificate. You don't need another cheerleader. You don't need someone to come and tell you what you already know deep down inside. You are enough. You are powerful. You are chosen. But you've got to believe it, not just with your head, but with your heart, your spirit, your actions. When you learn how to focus, you'll stop scattering your energy. Some of you are exhausted because you are weak, but because you are giving pieces of yourself away to things that don't deserve you. You're tied up in relationships that drain you. You're bound up in situations that don't serve you. You're loyal to environments that are allergic to your growth. And here's the revelation. Detachment is not weakness. Detachment is strength. When you detach from what is breaking you, you make room for what can build you. Focus is the weapon of the wise. Focus says, I don't have time for everything, but I have time for what matters. When you focus, you tell your distractions, you cannot have me. You cannot control me. You cannot consume me. Because where your focus goes, your energy flows. And where your energy flows, your destiny grows. Stop waiting for someone else to see your worth. Stop craving the applause of people who don't even clap for themselves. The moment you stop begging for validation, you step into liberation. You've got to value yourself so deeply that even when you walk away from something or someone, you don't feel like you lost. You feel like you gained yourself back. Sometimes life will pull you into a season of isolation. Don't fight it. That season isn't punishment, it's preparation. That season is the cocoon where you stop being a caterpillar and rise as a butterfly. That season is where you stop listening to the noise of the crowd and start hearing the whisper of your calling. And when you align yourself with your true value, something divine begins to happen. Doors open. Opportunities appear. The right people find you, not because you chased them, but because your worth attracted them. Your focus is magnetic. Your self-value is prophetic. When you stand in who you are, heaven responds. So I say to you today with urgency and authority, it's time to focus. It's time to value yourself. It's time to detach from what diminishes you and embrace what defines you. It's time to stop discounting yourself and start declaring yourself. Because the truth is, you are not here by accident. You are here by assignment. And when you focus and value yourself, you activate the very reason you were created. Most people go through life waiting for the world to tell them who they are, instead of standing in the authority of who they already know themselves to be. They keep looking outward, hoping for confirmation, for applause, for someone to co-sign their greatness. But let me tell you something powerful. The world mirrors back to you the worth you project. If you walk through life with uncertainty, with doubt, with a low sense of self, the world will treat you accordingly. But when you carry yourself with clarity, with a deep-rooted knowing that you are valuable, that you are deserving, that you are created with purpose, the world has no choice but to rise to that standard. You set the bar for how people engage with you, how they speak to you, how they respect you, how they respect you. And until you raise that bar for yourself, you will always live beneath your potential. Your worth is not determined by your bank account, your title, or your resume. When you are emotionally entangled in what is toxic, you cannot see clearly. You mistake pain for passion, dysfunction for destiny, and chaos for connection. Detachment frees your vision. It allows you to step back, breathe, and see the truth without the fog of desperation. Some of you are exhausted not because life is unfair, but because you are carrying weights you were never meant to carry. You are tied to people who drain you, connected to environments that limit you, and chained to patterns that dishonor you. The moment you detach is the moment you take your power back, because you are no longer enslaved by what does not deserve you. Detachment is not weakness, it is wisdom. Weakness says, I can't live without them. Strength says, I will live better because I chose me. Weakness clings to the familiar even when it hurts. Strength releases and trusts the unknown because it knows that life will not abandon you when you honor yourself. Detachment doesn't mean you stop loving people. It means you love yourself enough to stop allowing them to misuse your love. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop sacrificing your soul on the altar of someone else's dysfunction. It means you step into alignment with the truth that not everything or everyone is assigned to your destiny. Some of you are praying for peace while holding on to chaos. You are asking for clarity while gripping confusion. You are yearning for freedom while clutching the very chinks that bind you. And here is the revelation. You cannot be delivered from what you refuse to release. Detachment is the doorway to healing, to clarity, to power. Until you detach from what drains you, you cannot attach yourself fully to what grows you. The space that is filled with what is killing you cannot be filled with what will bless you. Sometimes God cannot place new wine in your life because you are still clinging to old wineskins. Detachment is also the secret weapon of focus. When you are emotionally free, you stop scattering your energy. You stop fighting unnecessary battles. You stop pouring into empty wells. You stop bleeding for people who wouldn't even hand you a bandage. Suddenly your mind clears, your spirit lifts, your vision sharpens, and with that clarity, you begin to channel your energy into what matters: your growth, your calling, your peace, your purpose. Detachment protects your destiny from distractions because you can finally say, I refuse to invest myself in what diminishes me. I choose to pour into what multiplies me. And let me tell you this, detachment is not the end. It is the beginning. It is the beginning of reclaiming your energy, of restoring your dignity, of rediscovering yourself. When you detach from what drains you, you don't just walk away. You rise up. You rise into higher levels of consciousness, deeper levels of peace, and stronger levels of power. You realize that you are not losing when you let go. You are gaining back the most important thing you ever had, yourself. And once you have yourself back, whole and clear, there is no storm you cannot face, no mountain you cannot climb, no destiny you cannot claim. Focus is the currency of greatness. Whatever you give your attention to, you are feeding, and whatever you feed will grow. If you spend your days focusing on problems, they expand. If you give your energy to fear, multiply. But if you fix your mind on possibility, if you discipline your vision towards solutions, growth, and purpose, you become unstoppable. Life has a way of amplifying what you magnify. So the question becomes, what are you giving your energy to? Because if you are not intentional about your focus, the distractions of life will decide for you, and distractions are expensive. They cost you time, energy, and destiny. The truth is, focus is not about doing more. It is about doing less with greater intensity. Some of you are tired, not because you lack strength, but because your energy is scattered in too many directions. You are pouring into too many buckets with holes in them, trying to be everything to everyone and losing yourself in the process. But when you focus, you cut through the noise. You say, this is my assignment. This is where my energy goes. This is what deserves me. And in that moment, your life stops being random and starts being intentional. Like sunlight scattered through a window does little, but sunlight focused through a magnifying glass can start a fire. Your focus turns your potential into power. Focus is also a form of discipline. It means you refuse to be controlled by every impulse, every distraction, every invitation to mediocrity. It means you are willing to shut the door to good things so you can say yes to great things. It means you stop being reactive and start being proactive because you understand that your future is not shaped by what comes at you, but by what you choose to give your energy to. Discipline is not punishment. It is protection. It protects your destiny from dilution, your purpose from being wasted, and your energy from being stolen. But here's the catch. Focus requires sacrifice. You cannot focus and still cling to every distraction. You cannot focus and still entertain every opinion. You cannot focus and still be loyal to environments that drain you. Some of you will have to give up the crowd to step into clarity. You'll have to give up comfort to step into calling. You'll have to give up noise to hear the voice of destiny whispering in your soul. Focus will cost you people, habits, and patterns that no longer align with your future. But that's not loss. That's pruning. And pruning is what makes growth possible. When you are focused, you begin to experience acceleration. Doors open because you are not knocking everywhere. You are knocking at the right place. Opportunities appear because your energy is no longer scattered. It is concentrated. People take you seriously because they can see that you take yourself seriously. And something powerful happens. Your focus creates momentum, and momentum creates breakthroughs. The more you focus, the more you attract alignment, and the more you attract alignment, the easier it becomes to move forward. What once felt like a battle begins to feel like flow because you are no longer chasing everything. You are chasing the right thing. Ultimately, focus is an act of faith. It says, I trust that if I give myself fully to this assignment, this purpose, this calling, it will bear fruit. It is a declaration that you will no longer divide your soul into fragments, but you will unify your energy into one powerful direction. And when you do that, you tap into a force greater than yourself. Focus turns ordinary people into extraordinary leaders. It turns weak intentions into strong realities. It turns dreams into destiny. Because the truth is, energy flows where attention goes, and what you magnify multiplies. The only question is, what will you choose to magnify? Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are gates to protect what is sacred within you. Every life has an assignment, a calling, a unique purpose. But without boundaries, that purpose gets trampled on by distraction, drained by obligations, and diluted by noise. Boundaries are the invisible lines you draw around your energy, your time, and your spirit that say, oh, this is sacred. This cannot be touched by anything or anyone that does not serve my destiny. Without boundaries, you are vulnerable to everything. With boundaries, you become unstoppable because you have chosen to guard what matters most. The truth is, every no you speak is not rejection, it is redirection. Every time you say a no to what is beneath you, you are saying a yes to what is beyond you. But many of us are afraid of saying no because we want to be liked. We want to be accepted. We want to avoid conflict. Yet hear the revelation. If you spend your life saying yes to everyone else, you will end up saying no to yourself. Boundaries are not selfish. They are self-respect. They are a declaration that your time is valuable, your energy is precious, and your purpose is too important to be wasted on distractions. When you fail to set boundaries, you invite chaos. People who lack direction will pull you into their confusion, People who lack discipline will drain you with their emergencies. People who lack respect will take advantage of your kindness. But when you set clear boundaries, you send a message. I am not here to be consumed. I am here to contribute. I am not here to be depleted. I am here to fulfill my destiny. Our boundaries teach people how to treat you, and they teach you how to protect yourself. Without them, you end up empty. With them, you stay filled, focused, and aligned. Boundaries are also spiritual. Even creation itself operates with boundaries. The sea can only go so far. The sun rises and sets within appointed times. Seasons come and go within divine order. If the universe is sustained by boundaries, how much more do you need them to sustain your purpose? When you allow everything and everyone to have unrestricted access to you, you dishonor the divine assignment on your life. Boundaries are not barriers to love. They are the framework that allows love, peace, and purpose to flourish in their rightful place. Saying no is not always easy, but it is always necessary. You may lose some people when you set boundaries, but if your boundaries make them leave, they were never meant to stay. The ones who truly value you will respect your limits. The ones who are aligned with your purpose will not see your no as rejection, but as clarity. And here's the truth. When you say a no to what is draining you, you gain the capacity to say yes to what will grow you. Every no is a shield for your destiny. Every no is a step toward focus. And every no is an act of faith that says, I believe my purpose is worth protecting. Boundaries ultimately create freedom. They free you from guilt, from manipulation, from overextension. They give you the power to live with intentionality instead of obligation. They allow you to give your best self to the things that matter most. Your growth, your calling, your legacy. And the moment you realize that every no you speak to distractions is a sacred yes to your destiny, you stop feeling guilty about boundaries and start feeling grateful for them. Because boundaries don't limit your life, they liberate it. One of the greatest traps in life is the need for validation. Too many people live as prisoners of opinion, chained to the applause or criticism of others. They spend their lives trying to be liked, trying to fit in, trying to be approved, and in the process. But let me tell you this. The moment you depend on someone else to tell you who you are, you have given away your power. You cannot live a life of destiny while begging for crumbs of acceptance because your greatness was never designed to be voted on. Validation is fleeting. Today, people will cheer for you, and tomorrow they may criticize you. If your identity is tied to their applause, you will crumble under their rejection. That is why you must anchor yourself in something deeper, in self-value. Who? Self-value says, I know who I am. I know what I bring, and I refuse to shrink myself for approval. When you carry the bread of greatness within, you don't go begging for crumbs. You realize that the same God who created the stars thought you were worthy of life, breath, and purpose. And if heaven already validated you, why are you still waiting for man's permission? Chasing validation leads to exhaustion. You will bend over backwards for people who will never be satisfied. You will pour yourself out for people who will never clap for you. You will lose sleep over people who wouldn't even notice your absence. But when you value yourself, you stop running in circles for people who can't see your worth. You stop negotiating your identity for temporary approval. You stop confusing acceptance with love. Self-value breaks the cycle of begging because you finally understand that your worth is not determined by their recognition, but by your revelation. And here is the revelation. You are already enough. Not because of what you have, not because of what you've accomplished, but because of who you are. Self-value is not arrogance. It is awareness. It is the awareness that your time, your energy, your presence, your gifts are precious. It is the awareness that you don't need to perform to be worthy. It is the awareness that you don't have to be chosen by them because you were already chosen by God. When you wake up to this truth, you walk differently, you speak differently, you live differently because you no longer live for applause, you live for purpose. The danger of living for validation is that it makes you easy to control. People can manipulate you with approval, threaten you with rejection, and silence you with disapproval. But when you know your value, you break free. You cannot be bought with applause, and you cannot be broken by silence. You become unshakable because your foundation is internal, not external. And from that place of self-value, you can finally step into your true calling, not because others agree with it, but because you believe in it. So hear me clearly. Stop begging for crumbs when you carry the bread of greatness. Stop waiting for the world to notice you and start noticing yourself. Stop asking for permission to shine and start shining. Self-value is not about rejecting others. It's about refusing to reject yourself. When you honor yourself, you invite the world to honor you. When you believe in yourself, you give the world permission to believe in you. And when you carry your value with boldness, you'll find that the right people will recognize it. Not because you begged them to, but because your greatness spoke louder than their doubt. There comes a season in every destiny when the crowd disappears, when the noise quiets, and when the road becomes narrow. That season is isolation. It is the place where you are separated from the familiar so you can be introduced to the authentic. Most people fear it because it feels like loneliness, but in truth, it is a sacred invitation. Isolation is not abandonment, it is alignment. It is life's way of stripping away the distractions so you can finally see yourself without the mask, without the noise, without the opinions that have defined you for so long. In isolation, you meet the real you. In the silence of isolation, you discover that the world's applause was never your true fuel. You realize that what sustained you all along was not the validation of others, but the vision planted deep inside of you. That's why isolation is so uncomfortable. It forces you to sit with yourself. It forces you to confront the parts of you that busyness allowed you to avoid. It reveals your fears, your wounds, your weaknesses, but it also reveals your strength, your resilience, your hidden greatness. What feels like emptiness is actually the clearing where God begins to construct something new within you. Seasons of isolation are the incubators of destiny. Just as a seed must be buried in the dark before it can break through the soil, you too must endure seasons where no one sees your growth. People may forget you, they may overlook you, they may even doubt you. But in the secret place in the quiet season, roots are forming that no storm can uproot. You are being prepared, strengthened, and refined. The isolation is not punishment, it is preparation. Without it, you would not have the foundation to carry the weight of your future. But hear me, not everyone can go with you into your season of isolation. Some people are seasonal, not eternal. They were part of your past chapter, but they cannot enter your next one. And if you try to drag them into your cocoon, you will suffocate yourself. Isolation requires release. It requires you to detach from the voices, the patterns, and the people that cannot survive the altitude you are called to. This is why elevation feels like separation, because the higher you go, the fewer people can fit. The beauty of isolation is that it teaches you sufficiency. You learn that you are not as weak as you thought, not as dependent as you feared, and not as empty as you assumed. You realize that you can stand without the applause, you can move without the approval, and you can progress without the crowd. Isolation teaches you to draw strength from within, to lean on the divine presence that never leaves you, and to trust that even in silence you are being carried. When you come out of isolation, you walk differently, because you now know that your power does not come from who surrounds you, but from who sustains you. And when the season of isolation ends, you emerge transformed. You are clearer, stronger, more focused, more authentic. You are no longer desperate for acceptance because you have accepted yourself. You are no longer distracted by noise because you have learned the value of silence. And you are no longer afraid of being alone because you know that solitude is not emptiness. It is empowerment. It is empowerment. So the next time life pulls you into isolation, don't resist it. Embrace it. Because sometimes you must walk alone to discover the depths of who you really are. And once you find yourself there, no force on earth can make you lose yourself again. There is a rhythm to life, a divine current that carries those who are aligned with it. When you value yourself, you step into that current. Alignment is not about forcing life to bend to your will. It is about positioning yourself so that your will bends toward divine purpose. Too many people are fighting upstream, exhausting themselves because they are out of sync with who they were created to be. But the moment you recognize your worth, honor your calling, and focus your energy on what truly matters, something shifts. You stop fighting life, and life starts working with you. Alignment brings flow, and flow brings favor. Spiritual alignment is the invisible connection between your inner belief and your outer reality. When you think small of yourself, life mirrors back small opportunities. When you doubt your worth, you attract relationships and environments that confirm that doubt. But when you honor your value, when you speak life over yourself, when you carry yourself with dignity, you create alignment between your soul and your surroundings. The world begins to respond differently to you. Not because it suddenly changed, but because you did. You are no longer chasing doors. The right doors begin to find you. And here's the revelation. Alignment is not just about success, it's about peace. You can achieve titles, wealth, or recognition and still feel empty if you are misaligned with your true purpose. But when you are in alignment, even the smallest steps feel significant. You find joy in the process, not just the outcome. You begin to see setbacks as setups, delays as preparation, and challenges as refining tools. Alignment transforms your perspective because you understand that nothing in your life is wasted when it is guided by divine intention. To be aligned spiritually is to be anchored. You are no longer swayed by every opinion, every trend, every circumstance. You move with clarity because you know your path is ordered. You walk with confidence because you know your steps are guided. And when storms come, and they will, alignment keeps you steady. It whispers to your soul, this too shall pass because I am not out here on my own. I am walking in rhythm with a greater plan. Alignment gives you resilience because you know that even in the darkest moments you are still on course. Alignment also unlocks doors that human effort could never open. Some opportunities are not the result of your networking, your striving, or your hustle. They are the fruit of being positioned where destiny can find you. People will wonder how you got the promotion, how you met the right person, how you entered rooms you weren't qualified. The answer is alignment. When you honor your value and focus your energy, the universe responds, resources are released, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Alignment attracts provision to vision. Ultimately, spiritual alignment is about trust. It is about trusting that if you remain true to yourself, honor your value, and walk in purpose, life will unfold in ways greater than you imagined. It doesn't mean the journey will be easy, but it does mean it will be meaningful. And when you live in alignment, you stop asking, will it happen for me? And you start declaring it must happen for me, because I'm walking in divine intention. That's when doors open that no man can shut, paths appear where none existed, and your life becomes a living testament that valuing yourself is not just empowerment, it is alignment with destiny itself. My friends, hear me well. Your life is too precious to be lived in distraction, in doubt, or in desperation. You were not created to crawl through existence begging for validation, drained by what does not serve you, scattered in 1,000 directions. You were created to stand tall, to walk in clarity, to honor your worth, to guard your purpose with sacred boundaries, and to focus with unshakable conviction on the destiny planted inside of you. You must understand, your future is not waiting on chance, it is waiting on choice. The choice to detach from what diminishes you. The choice to magnify what multiplies you. The choice to say no to distraction so you can say yes to destiny. The choice to stop begging for crumbs when greatness is already within you. The choice to embrace seasons of isolation as preparation, not punishment. And above all, the choice to align your life with divine intention. Because when you do, doors will open that no man can shut. This is the hour. This is the moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, not a someday. Right now, someday. Right now. Focus your mind, value yourself, protect your purpose, step into alignment. Because the truth is, no one else can live your assignment but you. No one else can carry your calling but you. And no one else can honor your worth unless you do it first. So walk out of here today with your head high, your spirit strong, and your heart convinced I am worthy, I am powerful, I am chosen, I am aligned. And from this day forward, let every step you take be a declaration to the world that you refuse to live beneath your calling, because you finally understand the greatest investment you will ever make is in yourself. Now is your time. This is your season. Focus, value yourself, and watch the world respond to the new standard you've set for your life.